Good morning, everybody. It's been announced that in Port Talbot in South Wales, Tata Steel, that owns the steel works and blast furnaces there, is going to close down the last two remaining blast furnaces which exist in the United Kingdom. This is an appalling attack on our industry and our manufacturing base. Since the Industrial Revolution, the UK has had blast furnaces which are able to produce iron from iron ore, from raw materials, with coke, which comes from coal. We need blast furnaces in this country to produce iron and to produce virgin steel and all of the different high quality steel products that we need for our construction industry, for whatever other industries need steel. All the tools which you use, transport, car manufacturing, high-tech equipment, all need steel. This is absolutely disgusting. And the government has supported this. So Tata Steel are going to close these two existing blast furnaces with the loss of 3,000 jobs. We don't know exactly when this is going to happen, but it's likely to happen quite soon. And it was terrible seeing interviews down there that media have done with the workers, and they're unsure of how long they're going to have their jobs, maybe just another few months or so while they close this thing down. And the idea is they're going to replace the blast furnaces with something called electric arc furnaces, which can only make a lower grade of steel by recycling scrap steel. So some idiot in the government thinks that the best thing for the country to do is to close down our blast furnaces so we can't produce iron and steel from raw materials, and then we'll just get all of our steel from recycling our scrap steel. Well, this is absolute idiocy. And this comes after the only other place in the country which had blast furnaces, it still does, but they're due to close now as well, is in Scunthorpe, the other steelworks there. There were two blast furnaces there as well, and they're in the process of being shut down. And they also are going to be replaced with electric arc furnaces that can only make steel from recycling scrap steel. We can't make any new steel in the future. They also, so British Steel owns the Scunthorpe steelworks. They also did own another steelworks in Redcar in North Yorkshire. That closed in 2015, and that was actually demolished, knocked down in 2022. So we're not just closing them and then leaving them there so that at some point in the future, if someone sensible comes into government, like the Heritage Party, we will put investment in there to reopen the blast furnaces, because we know a nation, an industrial nation, the first nation ever to industrialize in the world with the Industrial Revolution, needs blast furnaces to make iron from raw materials. We cannot be a serious manufacturing and industrial country if we're relying on imports of high quality steel from China and India. This is absolutely insane, but it's all being done because of this really ridiculous, nonsensical climate ideology where they say, oh, well, this is good because we're reducing carbon dioxide emissions. Carbon dioxide emissions don't mean a thing. Carbon dioxide is not a harmful pollutant, which a lot of people have been programmed and brainwashed into thinking it is, when it isn't. I mean, I was a chemistry teacher for many, many years, and I used to teach about blast furnaces and how we can make iron from our own raw materials. There's iron ore in South Wales. There's coal in South Wales. Two cheap things, put them together in a blast furnace, you make something expensive. It's great. It's good business. It's good industry. And the government, this fake Conservative government, wants to destroy that and take that away from us. It's not just, what's happening now. It is our heritage as well. And they're trampling all over it, and it's absolutely wrong. Well, thank, God, they're going to be out in the next election. But, Labour are not going to be any better. The Lib Dems, the Greens, they're not going to be any better. They're just going to do exactly the same, because they're all doing exactly the same these days. They're all destroying everything because of this climate alarmist nonsense, and it needs to stop, because now they are destroying our industry. This is going to be really, really a bad thing for our national security. We need to be able to make steel on our own, and we can do, and they shouldn't be stopping this. So it's a travesty, and it is such a bad decision. And not only that, they're paying for them to do it. They're giving Tata Steel £500 million, which they don't have, which they'll have to borrow from the Bank of England or someone else, and then they're going to add to the national debt in order to destroy a key part of our industry and turn it into something which is inferior. It's utterly insane. And the majority of MPs are beholden to this insanity. I'm just so angry about this. British Steel is doing the same. They're giving money to them. I think the reports say they've given them not just 500 million, but 1.25 billion pounds to British Steel, which, by the way, is owned by some Chinese people. A Chinese company called Jingyi apparently owns British Steel and therefore the Scunthorpe plant. The only way they're making money is they're getting this ridiculous subsidy from the government to close down something that works and make something that doesn't work as well. This is what we're having all of the time these days from the fake Conservative governments. Look, if you're angry about this, please come and join me in the Heritage Party. We're going to have an election this year. It's not too far away. Let's get our people into government. Then we can turn this around. We can save our blast furnaces. We can save our industry. Because it's not just iron-making blast furnaces that have been closed down under 14 years of the fake Conservatives. It's our aluminium smelters. Last year they closed down our last existing ammonia plant, so we can't make ammonia anymore from nitrogen and hydrogen. And ammonia, of course, is the basis for so many things, especially fertilizer. So we're going to have to buy fertilizer now from abroad. And what country in the world makes the most fertilizer? Russia. And what have they done with Russia? They've gone to war with Russia. It's stupid. They closed down our ammonium plant, then they need to buy it from Russia, and then they go to war with Russia. How stupid are these fake Conservatives? Backed up, of course, by Labour, the Lib Dems and Greens. Let's stop this insanity, rebuild our manufacturing base, and that means having the capacity to produce really, really important building, construction and materials from our raw materials. We need to be able to make iron, we need to be able to make aluminium, we need to be able to make ammonia in this country with our own facilities. And we also need to be able to refine oil as well. We need oil refineries. These are big industrial machines, plants that we need to have. And it's just insanity that the government is closing them all down and even knocking them all down, physically knocking them down, because they want net zero. Well, what a load of nonsense is net zero. Please join me in the Heritage Party, heritageparty.org. We're the only party that is actually going to see sense on this and do something about it. Please join me, stand for Parliament, get in, sort this mess out. Thanks for listening, everybody. God bless you all.